make sure that you go back to your strategies, whether it's behind a computer screen or it's shaking someone's hand out in the community, that you really can show how much you care as a bureau, especially to the community members and business partners.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Destination Marketing Podcast. I'm your host, Adam Stoker. Just a reminder for everybody quickly, if you haven't yet left us a rating or a review, but you've listened to a lot of the episodes, come on, guys. Just click that star, not the 1 star, the 5 star. Click the 5 star. That helps us be found and it helps us continue to climb up the charts. Our listens go up every single week, and we want you guys to help us keep that momentum going. So thanks everybody for listening, and also please leave us a rating or a review if you feel so inclined. We've got a great guest for you today on the show. Her name is Cassandra Vasquez, and Cassandra is with Branson, Missouri. Cassandra, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me, Adam. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh, man, we're excited to have you, and we appreciate you taking the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to chatting with you today.
Okay, Cassandra, we've got a few questions that we like to ask, just to kind of break the ice, get you talking, and get you going. So same for you. I want to ask you first, what is your dream destination? If you could go anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Oh my goodness, that's such a great question. I would have to say my dream destination would be the European area. I have always been really interested in Florence and Barcelona and Paris, and of course, the Amsterdam and Vienna area. I've never been there before, but I think what really excites me about visiting possibly is just the diverse cultures, being submerged in history, of course, the epic food that is there. It's such a romantic kind of feeling place, and obviously a lot of really incredible travel opportunities just within a couple-hour flight radius. So I think that would be probably my favorite destination if I got a chance to visit.
Okay, so I'm hearing 3 weeks to a month in that itinerary there. Is that about right for what you would need to do?
Oh, yeah, no less than that. Definitely at least 3 weeks.
Okay, all right. Big trip on your horizon. Let's make sure your employer isn't listening.
Good note.
No, we'll go ahead and put in that PTO request for that dream trip. I like it.
You got it. Done.
Okay, tell me your favorite place you've ever been.
Oh, I would have to say Hawaii is definitely one of my favorite places I've been to, specifically Maui. And then most recently in November of this past year, I got to visit Canada and I went to Toronto, and I really enjoyed both places. I think Hawaii was a little bit unexpected. I'm not really a hot weather island type of person, but I really enjoyed all of the excursions that you could do there, and just the culture of the people that were there was so friendly and so kind. And honestly, I would go back solely for just the food if I could. So Hawaii was definitely a really great place. Have you been before?
So I haven't, and I'm currently planning a trip to Hawaii, hopefully to go towards the end of the year. So I'm really interested in this Maui trip you took. What are some of the fun things that you did while you were there?
Okay, well, I will say, out of all of the different places you can go to, Ohana or Honolulu, my husband's been to a couple others, but my only visit has been to Maui. And I would say that probably is one of the better options if you're looking for more of like a romantic kind of place to go to, especially if you're married or looking for that special kind of getaway. There's a lot of really romantic things to do on the island, but obviously a lot of really great options in Ohana and Honolulu and a couple other places. But what we did when we visited is we did an excursion out on the water. We actually took a giant sailboat out there, and we got to see the dolphins. We went snorkeling and got to see some of the really incredible fishes and the reefs down below. The water is so clear. It's actually really incredible. And then we also did the road to Hana. And if you are someone who's curious about the road to Hana, I would definitely say do it.
I've heard a lot about it.
Okay, so you're going to want to rent a Jeep if you do the road to Hana, because it can go from kind of a more rough terrain to straight into the jungle, more rainforest-like. So I would definitely say a Jeep would be the best type of rental car if you're going to go that way to do the road to Hana.
So Honda Civic, probably a bad idea.
Probably a bad idea. Yep.
Right,
you really need something that's going to be able to get you through some really tight and unexpected curves on the road. but also really durable for kind of more of that rugged trekking through that area. But it's about 4 to 5 hours if you do the entire road to Hana, and I would definitely recommend doing that. For an afternoon, and then when you're done, come back on the island, walk the beach, watch the sunset, do some other, more low-key things. But that was probably my favorite part, is the road to Hana.
Okay, I feel like you've just scratched the surface on this, and we need to have a separate conversation when we're not recording, and actually nail down an itinerary, because it sounds like you had a blast.
Yeah, it was awesome. I would love to share some more about it if you're interested. It was definitely one of those places, like I said, I just didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did. But the weather was actually so much better than I expected. It was windy and it wasn't too humid. And of course, the food was just absolutely amazing. There's so much flavor in the fruit and the different fish that you can get out there too. So I would definitely recommend it.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, we'll have to follow up after and get some more information there. What was the second place you said? Because you kind of lost me at Hawaii because I was so excited.
Oh, you're good. Canada, actually. I really enjoyed
Toronto,
Toronto.
that's right.
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
tell me about
great.
Toronto.
Toronto is a very warm and inviting destination. There's a lot to do there. Definitely a really great pace environment. Things just seem to be really easy there. And what I really enjoyed was getting to walk around the city and see the different things to do. Of course, there's the large CN Tower that is really popular if you're a tourist to see in Toronto, and to go up into that needle and see the whole city from the skyline view. But there's also a really great distillery district that has a lot of really great shops. And when I went, it was in November, so everything was decorated for Christmas. So there were large Christmas trees and
Oh,
lights, and
fun.
it was just kind of a magical little place to spend a few days in.
Okay, Toronto. I've got to put that on the list. I haven't. Man, my list is getting so long. I don't know if I'll ever be able to do it. That's the problem with asking these questions. But yeah, Toronto sounds like a great place.
Yeah, and I mean, definitely being in the tourism industry too, I feel like I'll travel somewhere new, and then I will meet somebody who's also in the industry, and then you've of course got seven more destinations you have to go visit after that conversation. So I totally get
Yeah,
it.
exactly, exactly. Well, you mentioned the tourism industry. Tell me a little bit about your background and how you got into tourism.
Sure. So I'm actually originally from Iowa, and spent majority of my formative years moving every 3 to 4 years for my parents' jobs, and eventually that landed me in the 417 Springfield area. And sure enough, after graduating high school, I heard about a college about an hour south of where I lived at the time called College of the Ozarks, and I graduated from that college with a BA in Communication and Public Relations. So I have
Okay.
always been passionate about communication and having a deep enthusiasm for connecting with others. So when it came time to job hunt post graduation, I feel so lucky that I found a job right after college that allowed me to not only do both, but to grow in both ways. And so I started out as a social media coordinator here at the Convention and Visitors Bureau. I created content and managed our Explore Branson online communities. And then eventually, after a couple of years, that role turned into the position I'm in now, which is the digital marketing manager. And now I oversee our department efforts and our team. But honestly, our team rocks in their own rights. Like they are totally their own rock stars. So it's really just
Great.
a joy to work together with them. And just what I've learned being in tourism is that digital is a channel of connection, and every day we're communicating a message, whether that's through social media, our TV spots, our video and photography efforts, our blogs and articles on our website. It's just a really unique and fun way for all of us to be able to hone our strengths and skills as a team, but also be able to connect with others. And that's really what I enjoy most about it. And I've been here ever since graduating from college.
Great. And I can tell you're passionate about what you do, which is great, especially when marketing a destination.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, tell me a little bit about Branson as a destination, and a little bit about its story.
Sure. So Branson is a one-of-a-kind family vacation destination. It's nestled in what we call the lakeside beauty of the Ozark Mountains. We have live performance theaters. We have three incredible lakes, Table Rock, Lake Taneycomo, and Bull Shoals. We have an international award-winning theme park, which I'm sure a lot of your audience listeners are familiar with, Silver Dollar City attractions. We have
Yep.
dozens of other attractions, museums, a historic downtown district. We have a town center style shopping complex, our Branson Landing. a full range of dining options, including a new Paula Deen's family restaurant. And
All
coming
right.
soon, the Guy Fieri restaurant hosted on our Branson landing. So that's really neat to have. And then, of course, we have multiples of hotels, motels, resorts, RV parks, campgrounds, and many meeting and conference facilities. So what's really unique about Branson is that it's less than a day's drive for at least a third of American residents. So it makes for a really
Oh,
great road
wow.
trip destination. Yeah. As well as a flight destination with our flights to the Branson airport and then also the nearby Springfield Branson National Airport. So it really has never been easier than now to visit Branson.
I can tell you've been selling the destination for a while. That's a good pitch for the
Yeah.
destination. Well, that's great. I know that when you and I talked before, you mentioned that Branson has gone through a little bit of a transformation. There's what Branson used to be and what Branson is today. Do you want to
Mhm.
talk a little bit about that shift?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So I know when we talked previously, we talked a lot about changing the perception of Branson and how we market in the past versus today. And something interesting to share with your listeners would be that Branson originally started as literally a hole in the ground in 1894 with our Marvel Cave. It opened to tourists, and eventually that led to Shepherd of the Hills being put on the Ozarks map. But really, what boomed it kind of as a national destination was the 60-minute television special aired in 1991 spotlighting Branson. So we've had a little bit of work to do, of course, since 1991 on channeling that perception change. 15 years ago, the average age that visited Branson were in their 60s. And so today, the average age has definitely shifted a little bit. We're seeing a lot lower in the 50s, late 40s. And part of that, we really try to influence through third-party endorsements by bringing journalists, meeting planners, sporting events, influencers to Branson to tell their audience what Branson's really like and what they love about the city. And we've learned that their audience trusts them, and that if we can get them here, then most likely their audiences will turn into visitors too. And once we can really get people to Branson, I mean, the perception changes on its own. They just have to get here. So we focus a lot of energy on the leisure traveler. There's so much to do in Branson. So it could be anything from a family coming for a major league baseball tournament and bringing their families to cheer them on, and then turning those families into leisure visitors by giving them live shows to attend while they're here, an attraction to go out and try in between their games, or maybe they decide to extend their stay because there is more opportunities for them to do an experience while they're here. So all of that kind of funnels into our perception change by really, really funneling energy on the leisure traveler as well as those third-party endorsements.
Yeah, so I think what I'm hearing from you is that, there was the generation that originally found Branson even through that 60 Minutes interview, right? That in 1991, it kind of all of a sudden became this desired destination because it got so much awareness through that interview or through that episode of 60 Minutes. And now there's this new generation of visitors, right? And
Mm-hmm.
you essentially have you've had the older generation, and they still come. They still come to Branson, but obviously at some point, if you've got one specific audience and they age, you have to make that transition to the younger demographic at some point. And you guys have been working on that. Tell me a little bit about what specifically you had to do as a destination and a marketing team within it to try to change that perception that, hey, this is your grandpa's Branson.
Yeah, great question. So it's been a very, very concerted shift. Like I mentioned, through third party endorsements is one avenue that we've really put a lot of energy towards. And we've invited over 100,000 journalists in the last 10 years through traditional media alone to be able to visit and write about Branson. So that's a huge win to be able to help change that perception as well as bring in a new market, honestly, for that lower age demographic. But Another way that we've seen success in that is truly through brand awareness. We really try to focus a lot of time and energy on the design of our branding, the messaging, really how we position our website, working with agency partners to target specific audiences so that, if they're at home and they're watching one of our TV spots, in between a game that they're watching, maybe they get on Facebook and then all of a sudden they see an advertisement, hey, do you want to visit Branson, or, something along those lines. So really a lot of it is through um, really creating this awareness that there is Branson, but then backing that up with messaging that says, Branson is for your family, Branson is for your kids, Branson is for your couple's getaway, and through those kinds of efforts. So we do a lot of traditional media. We still do a lot of print, and targeting through regional newspapers and magazines. And then our digital strategy really includes a variety of campaigns structured to not only reach, an older audience or what we would call a boomer, because they are important and it is optimal during seasons of our year to be able to reach them and bring them to Branson still, but also to be able to target regions that have a lower age demographic, that maybe wouldn't think of Branson first as a vacation destination. But like I mentioned, once you get people here, they realize what it's all about and they fall in love with Branson. And we hear that time and time again, like, this isn't my grandma's Branson, or this isn't my grandpa's Branson, this isn't what I expected. So we
Well, and
really
even
try
for
to.
you, going a little bit back to your experience, Cassandra, you went to school there not really knowing
Mhm.
what to expect, and you enjoyed it so much that you stuck around. So what was it about the actual experience that caused even you to want to stick around in Branson?
Yeah, that's a really great question, actually. So, to your note on that, yeah, for years I was immersed in the tourism city by just living so close to it. I think what I really fell in love with in Branson, I think a lot of visitors, this would resonate with them and they would really agree with it, is that the community here is friendly, it's warm, it's hospitable. People who live here really take time to get to know you, whether you're someone they're passing on the sidewalk as they get their Starbucks in the morning, or you go to a show. Performers are so passionate here in Branson about taking time after their performance to come out and to meet their audience, to take pictures with them. And you just feel like you're home, like you're visiting somewhere where you feel like you have a family here, even if you don't know everybody. And I think that's what I really grabbed onto as a student here, is that um, moving every 3 to 4 years, I didn't really have a home per se. So coming to college in Branson and then being immersed into this city, it was really the first time that I felt like, wow, like I don't have to know this person that I'm passing by on the sidewalk, but I feel connected to them because they're friendly and because they're inviting, and because so much about Branson is passionate about extending care and creating that deep connection in what we do.
Great, great. And you talked a little bit earlier about how boomers are still really important for your,
Mhm.
especially for your shoulder seasons. So tell me from a specific digital marketing tactical standpoint, how do you separate your tactics that you're using to target your younger audience versus to target the boomers that you're still trying to get to come to your community?
Yeah, so we consider March through May and September through October our specific shoulder seasons during our full calendar year. So, what we do from a digital standpoint is we roll out a TV overlay campaign in the spring, and we target that to the boomer age couple in that March to May period and a little bit before. And then the same thing for September and October in that fall period. We'll push that out, and what happens is someone will see that TV spot, and then they'll be targeted with an ad campaign online. And then we also push a lot through our social media strategies and content distribution during those specific time periods. So what we've learned through our research is that that boomer couple, or that boomer generation, is more likely to visit whenever it's not crowded and it's not as populated during the summer. And so we really try to push those timeframes specifically because that's when we can really get them to come.
Got it. Got it. Okay, interesting stuff. One of the things that you talked about on our intro phone call is you talked about how you guys have used and partnered with a comedian out of, I believe, Springfield. Is that
Yep.
right?
Yep. That's
And
correct.
and his name is Jeff.
Jeff
Oh,
Houghton.
Jeff Houghton. That's right.
Mhm.
For some reason, his last name was giving me pause there for a second on how to pronounce it. But if you could tell me a little bit about that partnership and what you guys have done with him, I think that would be an interesting tactic that you guys have used for our audience to hear.
Sure. So Jeff Houghton is a 417 or Springfield native. He might be better known, honestly, as the Instagram husband, quote unquote. If you haven't seen that
Okay.
video, it came out in 2015 and it went viral and it honestly had the internet going a little bit nuts. A really, really funny video. And Jeff is he's incredible at what he does and how he brands himself. He is actually the host of what's called the Mystery Hour, and it's a late night television show hosted out of Springfield, Missouri. So imagine your Jimmy Kimmel. This is the Springfield version. And he's been a friend of the Branson community for quite some time. So we've been connected with him. And about a year and a half ago, we met and we discussed partnering with him. And kind of our strategy from the Bureau standpoint is that Branson is the backyard of Springfield. And having lived in Springfield before, I know that there is a huge perception disconnect. You know, when you live in the 417 area, you just sometimes don't think about going to your backyard, you know, and like hanging out for a day and seeing what's down there. So, what we have really learned over the years is that there is a local perception of Branson, not just a national one. And so we felt if we could somehow partner with Jeff in a way to where he could kind of help steer that perception change, his 417 Springfield audience would listen or they would start paying attention. So that's what we did. We worked with him for a year and we produced 24 short videos, all tailored to different awareness strategies. Some of them were really comedic, some of them were more serious. But it was a really great opportunity that we leveraged really great numbers, really great brand awareness. And we saw online through social media engagement several comments and shares of people saying, oh my goodness, you know, like I have to go to Branson. I just don't ever think about it because it's just, you know, kind of in my backyard, kind of like a last thought. And so we were really excited about the results that we had from the first year of partnering with him. And so we are now on year number 2 with him. And what's really neat is that his network actually shares these videos during his episodes. And
Oh,
each
really?
year, so during his live taping, they will actually air the episodes, and then his networks are in 10 different markets. So we'll also get footage with those episodes that we create or that he produces and he creates. We'll actually get footage with his video kind of being a commercial in between the tapings in 10 different markets, all the way from the Springfield area to Tulsa to Charlotte, Rochester. So it's been a really neat opportunity because we've seen his growth, but we've also seen the perception change shift in our local area as well.
Yeah, so there's a couple things that I love about what you've done there. I think, first of all, the quantity of videos. You said 24 videos. I think in today's social and sharing culture, having just one brand video for the year just doesn't necessarily cut it. And you guys did 24 videos with him. And the other thing that I really like about what you've done is he obviously, and I pulled up the video while you were talking. I remember that Instagram husband video. I relate with that Instagram husband video.
It's so good.
And he has a younger audience that matches exactly who you are trying to get these young families to come to Branson. And you found an influencer that really reaches that audience. And I think the combination of content that you've created and the strategic partnership with Jeff, I just think it's such a brilliant strategy to work on that perception change because, you know, the younger audience is going to watch his content and especially that it runs during his show and be inspired to come to Branson. I just think it's great.
Yeah, awesome. Really good to hear that feedback. Something else I was going to mention while you were talking is we've really seen this change kind of from the inside out. You know, you think about all these people who reside in the Springfield 417 area and maybe the perception that they have of Branson and the reasons, you know, XYZ that they haven't visited or don't care to. And let's say that he produces this video with us and they go to his show, I mean, that's one person alone that might have a change of perception, and then they visit Branson or they decide to just spend a day down here. Well, that's going to be changing things from the inside of our city and out, when they go to different
Right.
destinations. So, we're just really, really thankful to have this partnership with him, but I think it's even exceeded our expectations of what we initially thought we could do. I think in the beginning we thought, oh my goodness, like this would be such a great idea if this works. And then last year we were blown away because it did.
See, that's the other great thing is a lot of people are, we call it analysis paralysis, right? Where
Mhm.
you're kind of afraid to do something. You need all the data, or you need to know of a surety if it's actually going to happen or work the way you want it to. And you guys, you had a hypothesis and you dove in, you tried it, and look at those results. That's great.
Yeah. Yeah. It's awesome.
Well, Cassandra, you also told me a little bit about you guys do something that I find interesting. You do a lot of audience testing for your design, messaging, and branding. And instead of like just rolling out a campaign and saying, "Hey, this is our campaign for the year," you guys are testing and making sure that you've got the right message to the right people at the right time. Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Sure, I'd love to. So, with our campaign, I'll tell you a little bit about the previous creative, and that'll kind of help explain where we're at today. Together in Branson was the previous creative campaign, and it performed extremely well for the last 3 years. The campaign really provided a fresh look and personality to Branson, alongside with the new logo. Which we're really excited about. And it focused on what Branson is passionate about, which are the values, the family, reconnection, and not losing sight of the little things that are really important in life. So, of course, the value of being together on a great vacation in Branson made sense. Now, in 2019, we rolled out the We Believe campaign. And this phase of the campaign is an evolution that builds off of the success of the previous campaign. So it still shows the depth of what Branson has to offer in the product categories of family fun, great outdoors, entertainment, and exciting shows. So the cinematic structure itself has shifted to not only follow what worked previously through our TV spots, but it's not so much of a dramatic jump that it limits the ability to visually tell the full Branson story. So, how that came about with the design and the messaging and the branding, it's all backed through research. And we started out with focus groups in St. Louis, Memphis, and Oklahoma City. And then we broke the focus groups into 6 groups with 60 respondents. And 3 concepts were tested. The belief concept was the consumer choice. And some of the responses, if you're okay with me sharing them, I just thought
No
these were really
problem. Yeah.
passionate and really affirming responses, is that people said it changed the perception of what Branson offers, that it was an upbeat tone that made consumers want to be a kid. And older consumers like the spot show that we had as a TV spot this year. We basically said in the TV spot that they don't need to act their age, quote unquote, on a trip, and they felt like it was a real invitation to visit. So that's kind of how we got the We Believe campaign that rolled out in 2019. We went through this process, and then we backed it up with research, and we took it to these 60 respondents, and we took into consideration which responses related most with them. And that's how we determined that.
In your research process, how did you make sure that you were getting, sometimes people in these focus groups or one-on-one interviews, they have a tendency to tell you what you want to hear versus, or what they think you want to hear versus the actual truth. So how did you guys formulate your questions in such a way that you felt good about those responses?
Yeah, great question. So there's 2 sides to it. So of course, like the questions that ask them how they feel about Branson, I don't think we can get a true answer about the perception of Branson unless we ask respondents, how do you feel when you hear the word Branson? So some of the questions were geared to be a little bit more vague and open-ended, and then some of them were directly related to our logo, which I know we talked about on our call previously together, was the logo and how that came about, with the star included in it. And so some key words were chosen in that focus group process, the word believe, the word entertainment. And they were asked a series of questions about how they felt when they heard that, what experiences they related back to, that, either resonated positively or negative with Branson itself.
Got it. Got it. Okay. And obviously, I mean, the results are kind of speaking for themselves here. You guys had a great methodology and must have gotten good answers because those insights have led to some great results over the course of the last year.
Yeah, absolutely. We're really happy about everything.
Tell me a little bit about those results. What kind of lift have you guys seen with your new campaign over the last year, especially with those videos since you launched those videos with Jeff?
Yeah. So, one, we have seen really, really great social media engagement. Obviously, being now in 2020, everybody's on social media. My grandma, my great aunt's on social media. Like it's a thing now, right? So, of course, we take those metrics into consideration. And then we also are heavily invested into content distribution plans with digital marketing agencies such as Miles Partnership and 26 Digital. So, we get a lot of research back that's indicating positive reviews from visitors, such as Adara and Arrivalist, tracking people coming. So we've definitely seen an increase of visitation, and that's ultimately what we want. We want to produce a strategy that doesn't just make someone engaged on social media, but encourages them to visit the website, and then they start planning their trip. Or maybe they are interested in our vacation guide, and so they order one, and then they say, I've got to go to Branson. So the ultimate conversion here is we do all of this work and we put all this effort into creating a strategy backed by research. But then the real fruit of our effort is whenever we see those numbers and visitation go up. And so that's really what we've seen since producing this campaign. 2016 was one of our record years in visitation. And so we've really benchmarked a lot of efforts since then from, what did we do that year that was so successful? And part of that was let's roll out a new campaign that elevates off of that success. And that's what we've done. And we've seen visitation go up even further than what we had that year in 2019. So
Great.
what's exciting is our efforts are getting the results that we had always hoped for. And our research has backed that up.
That's awesome. And I heard you say, so you use both Adara and Arrivalist.
Correct. Yep.
Well, it's great that you guys are using such robust measurement tools to help you guys calculate those results. And obviously you're seeing the results and improving. So great stuff. We've talked about a lot. Tell me if there's something that I haven't necessarily asked you today that you think would benefit our audience or destination marketers that are kind of scratching and clawing their way to success.
Yeah. I guess the one thing that I would say that I would hope I could leave with any listener is that we have two things in this conversation I think are really important. And I hope I've conveyed them, but care and connection. I think it's really critical. Just being in Branson, that our community members and our business partners know how much the Bureau cares about their success and health as a business. And we're truly lucky to have really great leadership that daily makes those great relationships happen and empathizes and shows that care. So I would say, one, definitely make sure that you go back to your strategies, whether it's behind a computer screen or it's shaking someone's hand out in the community, that you really can show how much you care as a bureau, especially to the community members and business partners. And then secondly would be connection. We all know that connection is a channel for establishing value with a visitor or with a local in your city, your DMO city. So we always want our visitors to leave Branson with an experience and a memory that connects them to their visit. It could be as simple as the glass blower at Silver Dollar City showing you how to design glass, or possibly, our social media channel, Explore Branson, reaching out and sharing your social coverage, to a cast member in a show taking the time to visit and take pictures with you after the show. So I would say those are the two things that I would hope that a listener takes away, is that we really do care about our community members and the health of the industries that are here and that are part of the success of Branson as a destination marketing organization. And then we also care so deeply about establishing that connection, and on a daily basis, how can we ask more questions that give us means to make those connection points, or how can we go deeper with visitors so that Branson becomes a place that they take their children to, who take their children to, and eventually who take their grandchildren to, and so on.
Yeah, I think something that's a little bit under talked about, which isn't a real phrase, but we'll just use it anyway, under talked about, is the little things within a trip or within a destination that cause people to have a great experience. Very rarely is it the big component or the big attraction that makes that experience so memorable. It might be an interaction with a waiter or a waitress within the destination. Like you said, it might be the glass blower that causes them to have that experience be memorable. But I think we all do a great job of looking at our major attractions and saying, okay, we provide a great experience, but the little filler items between the major attractions is really where the money's made, right? And it sounds like you guys have really focused on using those moments to make connections with your visitors.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we definitely don't do it perfectly, but I think when you have those two aspects as one of your goals, when you come into the office and when you leave the office, you can't help but allude that to the visitors that show up in your city.
Great. Well, great stuff, Cassandra. I appreciate you joining us today and sharing some of your knowledge and experience from your time in Branson.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks again so much for having me. And anytime you're interested in visiting Branson or want to come over to Branson, we're definitely excited to have you. And any listeners, if you're interested in Branson, you can find out more at explorebranson.com. We hope to see you here.
You know what? That's a great idea. You know, one thing that would be kind of fun is to go to all these destinations of people that we've invited on the show and actually experience their destination and do an episode live from the destination. I think we may have just hatched an idea for phase 2 of the podcast here. Thank you for that.
That would be amazing. Yeah, absolutely. Can you imagine bringing your podcast to Branson? We could do so much with that and have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk more Maui and phase 2 of the podcast offline. We'll talk about those things.
You got it. Thanks so much, Adam.
Okay, thank you. Everyone, this has been another episode of the Destination Marketing Podcast. Thanks so much for listening. Reminder to join the Destination Marketers LinkedIn group. We're actually going to post that video of Instagram husbands in the LinkedIn group. So want everybody to be able to have that context and see who Jeff Houghton. I struggle with that name, but you'll find him. You'll find him on there. We'll post it and you'll have access to him. And anyway, join that group, get access to it, and that's where everybody's kind of growing, learning, and following up on the show together. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.